de SKC Sourat, M. Cham Sourat, CSK, le CEO de SKC Sourat, M. Sourain Sourat, le Chief Strategic Officer de SKC Sourat, M. Sundar Sourat, les directeurs de SKC Sourat, l'équipe des managers personnels de SKC Sourat, les amis des planteurs, ainsi que les amis de la presse, les protocoles respectés. C'est avec un grand plaisir que je vous accueille aujourd'hui au nom d'SKC Sourat et Compagnie Limitée. J'adresse mes salutations les plus chaleureuses et sincères à vous tous. Nous sommes vraiment honorés par votre présence et enthousiastes à l'idée de cette occasion qui nous réunit, l'Award Ceremony SKC Safer. À l'ordre du jour, on a un discours de notre CEO, M. Sourain Sourat. On a un discours du ministre de l'Agro-Industrie, de la Sécurité Alimentaire, de l'Économie bleue et de la Pêche, l'honorable Arlene Boulel, GOSK. Et puis on entame avec la cérémonie des remises de prix, Award Ceremony comme on a l'habitude de dire, pour SKC Safer 2024. Cérémonie de remise des prix, SKC Safer aux planteurs les plus coopératifs de l'année. On appelle ça le Most Cooperative Planter Year 2024. Après la cérémonie officielle, nous allons passer dans l'atrium où il y a des rafraîchissements qui nous attendent. Sans plus tarder, je vais inviter M. Sourain Sourat pour prononcer son discours. M. Sourain Sourat.
The Minister of Agro-Industry, Food Security, Blue Economy and Fisheries, the Honorable Dr. Arlene Boulel, GOSK, the Executive Chairman of SKC Surat Group, Cham Sourat, CSK, Directors of SKC Surat, growers, SKC team managers, staff, members of the press, all protocol observed. SKC Surat is one of the main players in the supply chain of fruit and vegetable grown locally, and this for the past 30 years plus. So who is SKC? We supply hotels, supermarkets, hypermarkets, fair markets, and ship charters. We have 400 employees, 35 trucks, daily delivery and storage capacity of around 1,500 tons at obviously at different temperatures where we have to keep the fruits and the vegetables. In the year 2017, SKC decided to embark on the Morigap project, that is to put safer fruits and vegetables to the Mauritian consumers. We quickly realized that this was not an easy mission. But the board and the directors believed that this was the right thing to do as part of SKC legacy or heritage. Obviously, we all eat fruit and vegetables in Mauritius, and as you know, I would say 80% is grown locally. We are almost self-sufficient, which is a good thing. But at the same time, as you know, growers in Mauritius, we are like 4th or 5th generation, and we are used, our father as well was a grower in Mauritius, and we are used to grow. We learn from our forefathers, and we are used to grow in such a way that we know what we know, as we say. But then there are implications that we realize, and SKC being a big operator in Mauritius in terms of supply chain, what are we doing about pesticides, insecticides, the use of pesticides and insecticides, and the control of those? Obviously, we are not talking about bio or organic. We are talking about producing in a safer way, which is good agricultural practice. Now, the government came forward with the project of Morigap in 16 or 17, we were in fact already thinking about implementing this because we are present in New Island, and for the past 20 years they have already embarked. In fact, they have gone very far. So we have a bit of experience from there. Then we, in 2014-15, we say why not? At the same time, the government came up with a project, and we were the first one to embark on it. Now, having been producing vegetable in such a way, as I said earlier, and as you know, we are all like that. The habits to change is not that easy, whether it's at home or whether it's in the field, everywhere. And this is something we do understand. So, obviously, we were in touch with FARE and all the different departments of the Ministry of Agro Industry. We were in touch with our farmers, we had meetings. It seemed quite difficult because the protocols of MORIGAP, even if it was like the first phase of MORIGAP, you have to keep records of your receipts, the fertilizer you buy, the seeds you buy, and we are not used, which we understand, we are not used to keep records or to record when did you do a spraying of certain insecticides or pesticide. But to be certified, we need reports. This is where the MSP comes and does audit, and based on that, you're certified. So, very quickly we realized it was going to be difficult unless we really invest and we get ourselves involved together with the farmers. And I have to thank our team. We put a team in place, but I have to thank the farmers who are very cooperative. A bit tough in the beginning, I have to say. Why change? What reason? Which I understand. But eventually, we decided to put a team in place to be able to give that support to the farmers, and this is where I have to thank the board directors over there in this optic to approve the budget. So we had a team of 3 technicians, 1 manager, and 2x4, 4x4 I would say, to be able to go and visit the farmers and help and assist, which as you all know, we are doing up to today, we are still giving that service. Unfortunately, we can't send a bill to the government about that. But we are doing it, nothing to do with business. The idea originally was that it was the right thing to do because we all eat that, our family, everybody. So moving on, the first year, 2017, we were able to put the first products on the shelves. And it was packed, still being packed, because we have to follow the protocols in terms of traceability. And products are being packed as and marketed as such with a barcode, with a farmer's reference, so that if tomorrow there is a problem, we know exactly who was the one who supplied this product and all that. Our farmers are well aware about that. Now, it's a coincidence as well that October is the month of cancer sensitization, and we are doing that function in October as well. One of the reasons of producing a fruit and vegetable in a controlled manner in such a way that is acceptable level of pesticide and insecticides is Mauritians, consumers, we know they are well aware of, obviously they connect, anything we eat or we drink is being connected directly to cancer. We all know about that, I don't need to elaborate about that. So again, this is a good thing to do for us, for growers, for all stakeholders, for the Mauritians as well. So we are proud to say today we have 40 growers who are certified Moringa. We have 15 growers who are in the process of being certified. And we also have 10 potential growers who have shown they are very keen to get certified. So the growers today in this room, I would say you are the heroes in this room today. And we can approach. The minister always says the saying, says, grow what you eat and eat what you grow. So I think we are in line with all the people involved of growing what we eat are present in the room. Obviously, it's a small group compared to the whole of Mauritius, but we feel proud about it. The growers feel proud about it. Our employees, we have 400 employees. When we started that in 2017, we got our employees as well to get involved, to understand what we are doing, and it was also part of their legacy. And we told them to go and explain to your family what the company is, what your company is doing, have a look into. So, the heroes of here today, what does that represent? I mean, our farmers. We are talking about 815 arpents of open field plantation of fruit and vegetable, 670 arpents of greenhouse, growing peppers, tomatoes, green cucumbers and all that. And this converts into 7,000 tons of fruit and vegetables grown yearly. So that's, I think it's very good, and thank you for all your effort you are doing on a daily basis. We know being growers, it's not easy to start early in the morning, and the sun, the rain, and SKC is always here to give you all the support. Now, in 2023, SKC was the first operator to be able to put in place a forecast tool. We've been explaining to the farmers, to the growers, and for the past 3 years, the growers will witness, we are meeting you twice yearly, and we are able to give the growers what to grow, when to grow, what varieties according to the market demand. And we are the only one who's been able to do that in Mauritius. And when as you know, when you leave the meeting, after a few days you get a paper which tell you exactly which months, what to grow, what volume, what quantity to grow. And we've been working on that with the team, SKC team. William was a big part of it, I have to say. And me personally, I was a little bit doubtful whether this will work, but when you come to our boardroom, you sit, we tell you Excel sheet, this is what we need for the months of January, February, March. But to my big surprise, and thank you for that, you understand that very quickly, and in fact, you are eager to ask, give me my sheet, I want to know exactly what is a commitment, what we want to grow, what we don't want to grow, and what for you. So I think that's a big plus. So earlier I said we have up to today since 2017 packed product on the market, on the shelf in supermarket and hypermarkets mainly. So we intend to put loose product, that is without packaging, on the shelves in hypers and supers mainly, because there is no packaging cost, and consumers will be able to buy it at a better price, and it will be accessible to a bigger range of customers, and better for you. That's why you have to be, all of you have to be SKC Safer certified. So this is new, which will start very soon, this year itself. And also, we all know what happens before we were doing that planning and the forecast. We all know when Pomnamu is expensive, tout le monde apprend Pomnamu, and then what happens? The price crash, everybody loses money. So I think the way to go is respecting according to the plan. Because we are doing the marketing, we are doing the storage, we are doing the distribution. We know what the market needs. This is our specialty. This is the value added that we bring to the table. You are specialists growers, and we are giving you the information, so it works. Succession is another thing that we've been working into for the past 5-6 years. There's a perception that growers, generally speaking, there are lesser growers. The youngsters are not really interested to go and work into farms and all that. But let me tell you, 50% of our growers present today in our group, our pool of growers, 50% are between the age of 30 to 45. So that's very good news for you and for us as well, because we need product to be able to survive and sell as well. So I think there is future. I think youngsters are interested as well. Maybe not all, but at least some. Our growers have invested heavily past few years in machinery, in new technology, and some have also invested into anti-cyclone greenhouse. Some have done massive investments, many million I see, and they are youngsters, 30, 35. And I think this is a good thing for Mauritius. I would like to also give thanks to FARE for the training of our technicians in the beginning when we started, especially, and BPO for facilitating the imports of banana plants, avocado plants, guava, and passion fruit plants, which SKC himself imported, and we planted 45,000 plants, of bananas in the south. And BPO did facilitate that, so thank you for that. Thank you to MSV for the certification of the growers. A pesticide regulatory office for free laboratory tests. I hope this free test will continue on. I hope the minister is here, so maybe this is my request. Challenges. The business itself, being grower, is challenging. For us as well, vegetables, fruits locally grown is quite challenging. Some of the vegetables, because we cover the whole range from herbs, cotomilis, tempesi, chouchou, batat maniok, we cover everything. We have probably 140 different vegetables that we buy everything in fact. And we know it's tough, it's challenging, it's not easy. Labor is a problem which we are all aware. I'm sure the minister is aware about it as well. We did get requests from some farmers. Our HR department as SKC is working on it. I'm not saying it's done. I'm just announcing that we are working on it. Because the problem that small growers and one upper to upper, they need free people to import from Nepal or from India or from Madagascar. The problem is it's difficult for them to go and rent a house and do all the administration and everything. So what we were thinking at SKC to assist again is probably if we are allowed to import a pool of 50 laborers and then put them in a house, but then they will be able to come and say, I got 3, you got 10, you got 5, and then they'll be able to work. So maybe something we can talk eventually. I don't know how that will work practically. Regular supply of good quality seeds is a problem. This is what I've noted based on meeting with farmers on a regular basis. Access to land, water, electricity. Many farmers in the room, I know, they have the know-how, they want to increase their production, but access to land is still a problem. And then there is the increased cost of production, which is happening everywhere around the world. It's not only in Mauritius, but we do import from everywhere, apples and oranges, which we can't grow in Mauritius. And we do know the cost of production have increased. But then again, as we explain all the time, we SKC, we don't decide on the price. It's a market supply and demand that we all know, but the only way is we have to differentiate ourselves is to have certified product, then we can differentiate from others. We can tell the consumer this is a different product, and then having a forecast telling you what to grow, what not to grow, at what period. I think this will help. So thank you again for being present. Thank you for listening. I would like again to applaud our heroes today.
Merci, Monsieur Sourat. It's an immense pleasure to call upon the Minister of Agro-Industry, Food Security, Blue Economy and Fisheries, the Honorable Dr. Arvin Boulel, GOSK, to address the audience.
Thank you very much. Let me extend a big thank you to the Surat family, especially to the two brothers, always on the forefront, very maverick in the field of agriculture, and of course, in relation to not only semi-processed food, but in relation to export. I was talking to my good friend, Mr. Romucus, and next to him, our two other friends. I was telling them the Surat name has become a brand name. And it's a brand name that crosses Mauritius, the frontier of Mauritius. They cross borders and are well established together with other partners in South Africa and in Royal Islands. They deserve a warm round of applause. So, they've embarked on a journey of good agricultural practices. And that's the way, and that's the spirit. And now, they're becoming safer produce, and they are giving awards. Now, but since they are giving awards, they have to set up their own laboratories.
You are here. You are here.
Now, I take it for granted, and it's going to be quality lab. As an enabler, the facilitator will facilitate the task, but it's true, since they export the cross-border and export to neighboring countries, and they entered in partnership with South African friends. But they're bold and daring. And I recall they even invested in livestock. But you know, Mauritius being what it is, it's not always easy. And because the cost of production is always very high. I recall some of our friends tried to make the most of what they had and invested in a livestock farm in Salazi. But despite bringing new technology, it was not successful. But then you have to put your money where your mouth is. But nothing happened without our friends, the planters. And the planters have an almost symbiotic relationship with the Surah. And it's a relationship and a bond which is stronger than steel. You know why? Because it's a bond based on trust, on reliability, and predictability. And this is very important. If you want to move the process, and if you want to make it happen, there's a call for trustworthiness. And this is the very essence of this bond. And in itself, it is a milestone. But then, we cannot simply rest on our laurels, relax, and enjoy armchair comfortably. You need to be more creative, more innovative, and you need to add value to your produce. Because what is the purpose of looking at research and investing in research and development, of course, together with the support of FARI, and look at that, with innovation, but at the end of the day, you need to market your produce. Because it's like having 10 cents, and if you want to add value, and if you want to make it profitable, you need to do market survey and market research. And this is what our friends are good at. They excel. They know where the markets are and how to capture the market. And you have to adapt. If you don't adapt, you perish. No one owes us anything. There was a time when we used to say that we are a small island developing states. We need to have special and differential treatment, and we need, to be given preferences. But those days are over. Those days are over, because even big countries, the states of some other country will tell you they are subjects also. They are subjects to the vagaries of climatic conditions, and they're not being spared. So that's why I say we have to adapt, we have to add value to our produce, and we have to stay ahead of the path. Mr. Surat has identified some of the constraints. The reason as to why you need to regroup, because you need to have economies of scale. There are campaigning measures which are being dispensed to you and support by FARI and agricultural services. And then, of course, you need to have loan at a concessional rebate being dispensed by DBM. But Surah is right. You must know what is it that you want to grow. You need to look at the suitability of your land. You need to look at the produce which is appropriate for that specific land. Because Mauritius is a small island but with different microclimatic conditions. That's why we say we are a world in a miniature and a mini lab for the world. But then you need results. And for all of us to have positive results, we have to cluster. We have to come together, we have to share knowledge. Because agricultural practice has now become good agricultural practices. Agriculture's prestige of agriculture. Agriculture's smart agriculture. Look at you, smart people in the hall. And now it's sheltered agriculture and open field agriculture. And it's agriculture with constant breakthrough technology. Remote sensing. Drones. To see to it that, the relevant chemicals are used, because we have to be responsible. So my appeal to all of you today on this, I would say, great day, where we are celebrating and where we are extending congratulations, and it's a day of congratulations and celebrations, but it's also a day of thinking and rethinking, of inventing and reinventing, of being more imaginative. My appeal to all on this auspicious day is not only to celebrate, but to reinvent yourself. And to do so, you have to be one step ahead. And to be one step ahead, you need to acquire knowledge. You need to disseminate knowledge. Because, as I've stated, market access is not a problem. But if you don't have a competitive edge, this is what is being done in in relation to export of sugar, for us to stay ahead of the curve. This morning, I was invited by the Mauritius prisons, and I had a talk with all of our friends, and I was pleasantly happy to learn that the prison will become self-sufficient. It will reach food self-sufficiency by 2026. It is producing 20 tons of potatoes. Almost with self-sufficiency production of tomatoes. Of course, there's discipline. I'm not saying that the whip is cracked up and they've been made to produce, but they do produce. And this is the kind of signals that we want to send. You see, a small country like Mauritius has a food bill which is more than 65 billion rupees. And that food bill can be reduced. I recall attending the meeting organized in Kampala on comprehensive African agricultural development, or comprehensive agricultural African development. And I had to impress upon them that Mauritius is not only a small island developing state, with microclimatic conditions and different surcharge, but it is now a big ocean small state. And therefore, we are a major player, but we have to make the most of opportunities which are knocking. How many of you, how many of us, so I not to say you, how many of you would opt to eat fish from fish farm, from aquaculture? Brazil is a major food producing country, and it consumes 35% of its fish consumption is from fish farm. But Mauritian taste bud is very sophisticated. And yet there are people willing to invest in aquaculture. And we can make the fish become very palatable. From fresh water to salt water. It can be done. My plea to all of us, and I say it without fear or prejudice, no one owes us anything. And we have to move with constant breakthrough in science and technology. We, all of us, have to understand that we can make it. And to make it happen, we need to come together as one nation and one. And we need to put up a common front. Agriculture today is in the vanguard, because I, as minister, strongly believe that there is not going to be encroachment of prime agricultural land. And if there is, the reason has to be justified. And you know what is happening to Australia is placing panels, okay, solar panels, dams. Why? Not only to produce electricity because it's renewable energy, but to prevent evaporation of water. And it's something that the immersion will have for them. And we have our geniuses in this country. But I feel saddened that not only the population is shrinking, but our valuable resources sometimes fall prey to a scourge called drugs. And as parents, we need to put up a common front and wage war on drugs. It's the biggest scourge that we have to face. And we can easily beat the mafia. Because we have to stand as one nation as responsible parent. Government is doing its fair share. Government is government, but government needs all of us. We are government. We are the shapers and movers of policy. And as my friend has been saying, we need to import labor. Probably there will be a 7th wave of migration. I recall when I was a student flying to UK to study to Ireland, before I was then a teen, a famous author came to Mauritius. And his name was V.S. Hypo. And you know what he said? He described Mauritius as an overcrowded burden. And today, our population is shrinking. We have an aging workforce. Of course, you know, that everybody's like me, like walking like Johnny Walker without a cane. But, and I mean it, we need to have a 7th wave of migration. Suran said it. Whether labor is going to be imported from India, from Nepal or Madagascar, we have to make sure that there's no disequilibrium in relation to our social ethnic configuration. This is the harsh reality. But I want you to ponder wisely. This is a great event. But I want you to understand that no one owes us anything and we have to reinvent ourselves. Yes, we will get the labor. And it's a valuable suggestion made by Suren in relation of supplying labor to all of you. Great labor which during intercrop will be released to you, made available, or labor which will be involved, irrespective of whether they'll be involved in sugar or non-sugar step. And we have no choice. You see, my appeal to one and all in relation to constant breakthrough in science and technology. Our friends from China came over, and amazing what is being done in relation to agriculture as a consequence of spatial development. So, I know you are going to ponder wisely. I extend warm congratulations to all of you. The problems have been highlighted. We know what are the problems, the major constraint. But at the same time, the land is Mother Nature. It's a lifeline, a lifeblood, and livelihood. And it enables us to springboard. And when we sow a seed, there will be another early harvest, and we can expect a bumper crop in relation to investment made in research and development. And identifying market and market access. And as we say, we not only look at trade issues, but we look at what we call non-trade issues, sanitary and phytosanitary laws. And these are very important, and I'm sure our agricultural sector, the IPPO, is living up to expectation. because I've stated, I will reinforce what I've stated, okay? You're only beautiful if you live up and you tell it. As we say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and beauty is in your hand, subject that you come together as one family, as one nation, as one people. Long live the agricultural sector, long live our good friends who has turned agriculture into a brand name. And I remember the dad sitting in Cubic Market, on a chair, okay, telling me of his stories, the pride of the family, how the family has learned to take the rung of the ladder to be today a force to be reckoned in the field of agricultural sector. God bless, thank you very much, and I congratulate all of you. Thank you.
Merci, Monsieur le Ministre. Donc, on va entamer avec notre award ceremony. Donc, nous finissons en anglais, nous finissons en français. Expliquer un petit peu plus nos award ceremony, méthodologie, et j'espère que nous là, nous pensez pas apprécier mieux si vous participez un petit peu au créole. Donc, SKC Award Ceremony, c'est l'idée que j'aimais dans la tête du ban directeur, je disais récompense ban camarade plantaire qui peut travailler et qui va accompagner nous. Et quand nous sommes en travail, peut-être SKC Sorat, je me bien rappelle le CEO, M. Sorat, si à moi, le jour qu'il vous trouve ban plantaire peut progresser et peut achieve the ban goal, the ban l'objectif qui se dénat. Vous connaissez qu'on travaille encore en sécurité. Parce que ça qui permet de nous progresser, la compagnie progresser, et ensemble avec lui, toute l'équipe à l'arrière. Donc, la méthodologie qui nous servit chaque année, c'est plus sur la performance de banque plantaire. Comme cause performance, c'est en termes de tonnage qui nous mesure combien de produits peuvent être livrés que nous, à SKC Sorat, sous Moriga. Depuis les 4-5 dernières années, l'emphase a été de bouger un petit peu du conventionnel et arrive sur les produits d'agriculture raisonnée. Donc, pour cette année, en 2025, là, quand nous avons une récompense fin plantaire, je vais uniquement les chiffres qu'ils réalisaient pour l'année 2024, de janvier à décembre. Donc, aussi, c'est important de dire, quand nous travaillons, ça, bien sûr, il y a un petit panel qui travaille sur cela. Je remercie M. Viviander, le responsable marketing, Shivam, le responsable d'achat, sous guidance de M. Soren et M. Sundor, nous arrivons vraiment parfois à trouver une solution. Parce que c'est vrai qu'on est un petit peu, il y a la jeunesse, il y a l'expérience qui mergent ensemble. Donc, la méthodologie, comment on peut dire, parfois nous faire une visite côte planteur, ça aide nous comprendre les contraintes aussi. Ça aussi, il y a un élément qui joue là-dedans. Il ne faut pas juste regarder un planteur, il peut faire tant de tonnage, il faut faire plus de 9, plus de 10, plus de 8 millions. C'est uniquement là qui nous récompense. Mais bien sûr, comme tout award dire, nous sommes dans une catégorie. Donc, nous prenons une première catégorie d'award que nous pourrons récompenser principalement best performance pour l'année. Et puis par la suite, nous prenons une deuxième catégorie d'award que là nous pouvons un petit peu sur un planteur qui est respectueux de l'environnement et aussi accompagne nous, les techniciens qui le filent, avec tous les points importants pour l'agriculture raisonnée. Et nous sommes capables de la traçabilité de ce produit et de collaborer avec nous quand nous devons faire un test laboratoire. Aujourd'hui, c'est avec Pesticide Regulatory. Probablement dans le futur, il y aura Quantilab aussi qui pourra avec nous. Donc, merci pour cela. Donc, nous commençons avec ma meilleure performance. Donc, vous demandez M. Soren Sourat de rejoindre nous au stage pour nous annoncer le second runner-up, catégorie Best Performance pour l'année 2024. Donc, le second runner-up pour sa catégorie-là, c'est M. Vivek Bhajan Monsieur Vivek Bhajan, avec nous depuis le début de Morigap. Félicitations, Monsieur Vivek Bhajan. Donc, le premier runner-up. Monsieur, vous avez le premier runner-up là. Le premier runner-up pour présenter ce award, on appelle le chairman, Monsieur Charles Sourat, sur le stage. Monsieur Charles Sourat qui présente l'award du premier runner-up à Monsieur Sartadeh Duki. Engagé principalement dans la production des ananas et autres produits. Merci, Monsieur Charles Sourat. Et maintenant, mesdames et messieurs, le grand winner, la meilleure performance pour l'année. De janvier à décembre 2024, je fais appel à l'honorable, le docteur Arvin Boulel, pour rejoindre nous au stage. Donc, on va annoncer la meilleure performance a été réalisée par LKJ, M. Neil Kumar Jiwan. Félicitations. M. Neil Kumar Jiwan en déplacement à l'étranger. Il est représenté par son papa, M. Jiwan Senior. Félicitations, M. Jiwan. Merci, M. le ministre. Pour faire sortir M. Jiwan, il gagne sa certification Morigap en mars. Donc, ce chiffre, c'est de mars à décembre. Et M. Jiwan fait aussi plein champ et sous serre, couvert de plein de produits, des fruits locaux, tomates, poivrons, concombres, ainsi de suite. Et maintenant, la deuxième catégorie d'award, ça, nous avons une récompense nous un planteur qui est avec nous, je crois, pareil comme les trois premiers aussi, je tout qu'il a dans la salle, je crois dans les bonnes pratiques agricoles, je crois dans le microkeeping, je suis bien discipliné, tout le monde est discipliné, mais il y a certains qui sont un peu plus disciplinés, nous dire respectueux de l'environnement, ben, je défends un extra mal, je conteneur de pesticides, les plastiques qui se peuvent servir dans une production. Je parle d'un neat and tidy environment, comment le dire, clean as you go. Le ministre a parlé de la qualité. Je veille à ce qu'ils aient des semences de bonne qualité. Je faire un amalgame de technologie, des bonnes pratiques agricoles. Je aide nous dans la traçabilité des produits. On met à votre disposition des caisses et je facilite cela. Et bien sûr, on participe dans les tests laboratoires qui font nous vivre les valeurs de SKC Safer. Je vais appeler les directeurs de SKC Sourat pour présenter cet award. J'ai le plaisir d'appeler M. Sundar Sourat sur le stage, M. Ashok Sourat, M. Rubisen, M. Vivian Albert et Shivam Raghu. Venez sur le stage, on va passer à la catégorie des awards. Donc, dans cette catégorie, on a identifié 7 planteurs. Et sur 7 planteurs-là, nous pourrons mettre un shield aujourd'hui. Donc, on va commencer par le premier, M. Ramjit Devkipa Satsing. Rejoignez-nous sur le stage. Félicitations, M. Ramjit. Avec manioc, c'est nos planteurs qui, de nous, on va dire 90%, tout nous un produit sous terre. Patate douce, manioc, oui, you name it, M. Ramjit est allé dans les quantités qu'il disait, de respecter le focus. Félicitations. Merci, M. Ramji. Pour vous demander de trouver ça même. Donc, le prochain, M. Rochard Messeni. M. Rochard Messeni, comme vous voyez, spécialiste des salades. Il est dans le sud, très loin. Monsieur Archon, pour remettre ce chiffre. Félicitations, monsieur le Président. Prochain, monsieur Dobel, Sandy. Monsieur Sandy Dobel, un jeune statisticien jeune. Pour réagir en employeur. Monsieur Robinson, tout présente l'ISO Award. Il fait tout filant qui est là. Félicitations, monsieur le maire. Prochain, on a monsieur Partager. Monsieur Partager, spécialiste dessert. Il y a une consultante pour les autres employeurs. Félicitations, monsieur Partager. Donc, on va appeler monsieur Lyon.
Et les gars ici.
Merci, M. Major. Merci, les gars. Prochain, M. Jamir. M. Jamir, spécialiste sous-serre. M. Hossein Jamir. M. Shivam Abdou va présenter la voix. Félicitations, M. Jamir. Merci, M. Jamir. Le dernier award, donc dans sa catégorie-là, vous avez là, petit Jésus, il y a 7 personnes, et il y a un camarade français qui va être capable de nous aujourd'hui, donc il vient sur award par la suite, c'est M. Djagou. On peut applaudir M. Djagou déjà. Et j'ai le plaisir d'appeler M. Balchan sur stage, ça c'est M. Djagou. Je vais bouger à M. Balchan. M. Balchan. Félicitations, M. Djandel. Je vais remettre la parole à M. Balchan. Merci. M. Balchan, avec M. Balchan, on apprend Brett Songe, Brett Malheur, qui est un best-seller sous mon regard. Félicitations, M. Balchan. Merci, monsieur.